Days with Melanie. I am your host, Ken Nickels, and I'm here with Melanie Nickels. She is the founder of the Raw Hair Organic Salon in beautiful Naples, Florida. It's one of the top curly hair salons in the country, and she is one of the top curl specialists anywhere in the world. She is also the founder of the Raw Curls line of natural and organic curly hair products. So today we've got a busy show. Boy, we had a lot going on. And not the least of which was, as we talked about before, last week's Saturday's Day of Curls winner. That actually happened. And we filmed the entire day and recorded everything. And our producer, Rhett, took a bunch of time and kind of condensed the entire day down to about 20 minutes and put a video together. And we're going to show that tonight. And the way I understand it, if I say this wrong, tell me in my headset I'm wrong. But that show is going to come up in the Curly Girl Support Facebook group tonight at 8 p.m. Eastern Time. It'll go live as its own post, and it will also go live on our Raw Curls YouTube channel at 8 p.m. Eastern Time as well. And we will post links in the comment section here so you guys can actually find it. So when we get done, you can go over there and take a look at it. So the original plan was us to talk a bit about that and do a little Q&A first to start the show tonight, and then show that video in the during the show as part of the show, and then afterwards Melanie and I would discuss it and then maybe take some questions about it and kind of close out the show that way. Well, due to technology, or the lack of technology, we found out today that it really wasn't going to work as well as we had hoped, because it would be the video wouldn't be as clear, I guess, because it would be a video on top of a video. And we made the tough decision to actually pull it out and just do Q&A like we normally do on the show, and then link you to it afterwards. And then we'll do that during the week as well. So I
thought that was going to be a midweek show, like on Wednesday.
Yeah, and we will probably do that as well. My guess is we'll make that a link, but it's going to have to be a little different than the live here. The other thing was that, and I know for those of you who are listening to this via podcast, the Instagram people, the IGTV, the Instagram Live, that would have been an issue. We wouldn't have been able to make it go live on there. So you guys would have had to sit in silence for 20 minutes.
Silence.
So it just silence.
I kill you. Right.
And we just figured that probably wasn't the best plan, even though it sounded great, but in the concrete, it didn't work out. It didn't work out real well. So anyway, so that's kind of that. Hey, Rhett, I've got no video on the monitor screen.
He likes to look at himself.
No, I like to know where I'm at. So, nope. So we're gonna
talk a little bit about what this curly group is.
Okay.
How many members are we up to now?
Well, remember. It's this actually started out in a Facebook group that I started called the Curly Girl Support Group, and that group is about 51,000 members, and we started doing these weekly shows, and then it ultimately turned into videos through Facebook Watch and Instagram and IGTV and that, and then we turned it into podcasts, which are on several platforms. And yesterday we found out that we did get accepted to on Spotify, so we are now on Spotify. So if you are looking to listen to this show as a podcast and look at or listen to previous shows as well, just ask your device to play the Curly Hair Q&A Mondays with Melanie podcast, and that's usually what triggers them off, and that's what they do.
So that means people can listen to it while they're working out or something?
While they're working out, or commuting, or in the bathtub. Well, I don't know about that.
Oh, that's weird.
I don't know. Or anywhere you want to listen to it, you can. So that's.
So while you're running on the treadmill and getting sweaty and your curls are, being compromised, you can listen to some support of what to do.
That's right. So we are the AA for curly hair. Is what it boils.
The curl counselors.
What it boils down to. So, do you want to get into some questions? Let's get into some questions.
Okay.
We'll do that, and then we'll wrap it up afterwards. Oh, wait, should we talk about that thing on the floor now, or should we talk about it later? You want to talk about it at the end?
It's up to
We'll
you.
give you something to listen to. We have something else. We have something else besides the video to give you at the end. So, so you'll have to hang around to the end. We'll make them wait. So, all right, let's get into some questions. So, first one, Melanie, what the heck is a flour sack towel, and why haven't I heard of it before?
When you first said, I thought you were going to say flour and then something else. I was like, oh boy.
No.
So a flour sack towel is actually, we have one here. It's a very thin 100% cotton towel. And these are fabulous. You know, we've always, at first we started talking about using either paper towels or t-shirts, and then it went into microfiber towels, and now we've kind of transitioned into these flour sack towels. And the reason, and all of those are okay as far as styling your hair, but the reason I love these is because, number one, the size of them, they're nice and large. And they're thin, so they really just absorb the perfect amount of moisture from the hair when we're styling it. What we teach is how to set and lock the curl, and then be able to absorb that excess water out of the hair while we're styling it. And they dry quickly, they're great, and then once they start getting old and some holes in them, you can use them for cleaning too. They're great for dusting. I have people that buy these. They usually buy one, and then they come back and buy 2 or 3 or 4 more. Yeah. I just had a lady, she loves these. She just bought 3 or 4 of them all in at one fell swoop. But anyway, that's a flour sack towel.
That's a flour sack
really
towel.
Thin, really, it's gentle on the curls. It doesn't roughen them. It doesn't, you know, cause more frizz. They're just really nice.
Yeah. So Melanie, do you and the girls at the salon, do you even use microfiber towels anymore for curly hair clients?
I was going to answer yes until you said curly hair clients, because I use them now for cleaning the mirrors and cleaning the counters. Okay. They're really good for that and for dusting.
Right.
Cleaning the chandeliers.
Great for the cars, for waxing the cars.
Yeah. So they're being put to use, but no, not on the curly clients anymore. We exclusively use the flour sack towels.
That's what I thought. And I've noticed that, you know, you're not the only one. You're not the only salon who's done that.
Yeah, no, and, you know, it's the microfiber towels were, you know, good, but these are even better. And because those were usually like a odd shape, they were long and thin, kind of like this, but longer. You know, and
right.
Yeah.
Right.
And so we have so many curly hair clients that have massive, excessive amounts of hair. And so it's really hard to fit that in one of those microfiber towels. Anyway, that's just another reason why I love these so much.
Okay, good. Boy, I've got a really good mix of questions today, and we have been the last couple of weeks, and it's really, really kind of neat. The next one, I have a 6-year-old daughter with curly hair. We've recently started to, quote unquote, embrace her curls, but I'm finding that I just don't have the time to deal with her hair and mine every single morning. Do you have any suggestions as far as what I can do to make this process easier so we can both survive the next 6 or 7 years? Tough question, hey?
No, not really, but I don't know what kind of curl she has. You know, it depends.
I don't either. It doesn't say.
Yeah, because if she's got... should I say, no, I was going to be naughty because last week we were talking about that whole nappy thing.
We did not. And for those of you who listened or watched last week, no, we did not turn on Netflix and watch
Julie
that show.
did.
But I did hear good feedback. We're going to do it.
Yeah, she didn't say whether she liked it or not. She just said she watched it. I don't know. I was so busy. We didn't really get to talk. But,
okay.
But anyway, depending on what type of curl she has, it's going to, you know, make a difference on what I would suggest. Because if it's like a type 4 hair, or, you know, a hair that gets really tangled and it takes a long time to detangle, you know, there's different steps. But, you know, we've had people bring their 3, 4, and 5-year-old kids into the salon with curly hair. And yeah, it's like, you know, are they going to sit there and go through this entire process, the routine that we teach as far as styling the hair? Probably not. You know, so we try to simplify it and give them just basic steps, like, you know, for sure using a good moisturizing cleanser and conditioner, and then, you know, a leave-in. is going to be great for them. You know, are they going to air dry and flip their head over and diffuse and all that? I doubt it. So, you know, that's what I suggest, using a simplified, you know, process. Just cleanse, condition, you know, use a leave-in conditioner, detangle the hair. Maybe they throw a little gel or mousse in it and off they go and let it air dry. I mean, that's going to be the simplest thing. And, you know, a lot, that could be a sufficient routine. So
Okay.
That's what I would recommend.
Okay, that sounds good. Our next question. When I started the Curly Girl method about a year ago, my hair was curly, but now I've seemed to have lost curl and my hair is more wavy, but the waves actually look better and more defined overall than the tighter curls did. Is this common? I would appreciate your thoughts. So it sounds like she had curly hair, decided to do the Curly Girl method and embrace her curls, and by doing so, she ended up with waves instead of curls. Common? Not common?
Yeah, I would say that's not real common. You know, I'm just trying to run that through my mind again, because that's pretty, yeah. Usually they end up having more curl than they thought. So I would say that's pretty unusual to end up feeling like you have less curl and just waves. But she's happy, so great, you know. That's
right. Maybe needs a curly cut, do you think? Would that probably be the issue?
Right. So sometimes, and that's why I'm kind of baffled by that and trying to picture if I've had that situation ever. And I don't believe so. But a lot of times, because usually people come into the salon and their hair is more, they say they have waves, and I'm looking at it going, I know I can get, you know, a lot of curl out of that hair. So, you know, I by the time that I do a curly cut and then style it and use the right products, then they're usually wowed by how much curl they have, and they love it.
Sure.
So, but I'm glad she's happy with her waves. So she just may need to adjust with the haircut and the products if she wanted to have more curl.
Okay. Could you guys please tell us the stations your podcast is on? Okay, good question. As of right now, and correct me in my headphones if I miss anything or I'm wrong. As of right now, iTunes, Stitcher, Google Play Music, Spotify. Okay, if you have Android, there's Overcast. What else? Podcast Addict. What else? Okay, search podcast in Android. What else? Am I missing anything else? iTunes. Did I say iTunes? Is that it? Okay. Okay. Hopefully that helps.
I wish I could do that sometimes. What did you say? I'd like, you can feel free to have the voice in my head or whatever.
Right.
that would be awesome. Like, hey, voice in my head.
Right.
I need to talk to you.
Yeah.
Maybe not. That's probably a bad idea.
Right.
Really
So that's it. So we're on a lot of
head.
different platforms, and they're all archived in there. Feel free to search them. And just like, you know, with any device, they it takes them. They're learning.
Who's learning?
Alexa's learning. All those.
She's not smart.
All those Siri's learning.
She's a dumb Alexa.
Siri is a dummy.
Siri's a dummy.
Oh my God. Oh. And she was way ahead of everybody else.
She needs Siri for dummies.
She needs something.
Okay.
All right. So yeah, so that's it. Lots of podcast platforms. Feel free to look for them. Okay. Okay. Next question. When are you going to do another Ask Me Anything show?
Oh yeah.
I have some questions for Kenny.
Ken skipped over that. Did you notice? Yeah. They caught you.
To answer your question, never.
They caught you.
Because I don't like the way that sounds. Never.
Oh, we should do it now.
No.
What is the
No,
question?
moving on.
Yeah,
next
we
week.
did skip over that.
We'll do it next week.
Yeah.
It'll be next week. Tomorrow. Next week. Okay. Melanie, has anyone ever asked you to cut a curly haired dog before? If so, what kind was it and what did you do?
I wish. That would be so fun.
No.
No. I mean, when I had my Yorkie, and this is a good kind of fun fact, maybe. When I had my Yorkie, I started grooming her because I took her to a groomer and they did such a horrendous, god-awful job. It was so horrifying that my dog was depressed. Remember that?
Mm-hmm. I do.
Remember that? I was just telling you this story.
Hacked.
Yeah, she knew she got a hack job. And she literally, when I picked her up, was like looking around at her body.
Like, what happened?
And then she was like real sad for the day. And I was like, I know, baby, it'll be all right. So I started grooming her after that. I mean, it was just crazy. I thought I can do a better job. So I started doing her grooming, and honest to God, it actually had given me a business idea because so many people were asking who was grooming my dog, and they were wanting me to groom their dogs as well. And so I had seriously thought about doing some grooming, but I just haven't had time. I remember we almost started that business down here, that mobile grooming. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But I cannot think of ever doing a curly hair dog. It would probably be a poodle. Comes to mind. There's a couple other curly.
Oh, there's all those new do dogs.
Do dogs?
Isn't that what they call them?
No.
Like all those mixed breeds, those designer breeds.
Oh.
That are kind of curly.
Yeah, designer breeds, not do dogs. There's all kinds of mixes. Yeah, because one of our clients has a woodle. And we just love saying that. It's a woodle, a Wheaten Terrier and Poodle mix. So. But nobody's asked me to groom them yet.
No, not yet. Not yet.
Okay. But I would.
Okay, good. You would. Melanie, have you ever had a client with curly hair come into your salon that you just couldn't fix? If so, I'd really like to hear the gory details. Well, it is October. That's Halloween.
Ooh, scary.
That's Halloween. We could do a scary story show.
Scary.
Ever?
Oh, that would be kind of fun. Yeah.
We got stories.
We could do a horror story show. Ooh, that would be fun.
Might have to. I have to think about that.
Does it have to be all curly hair though?
We have 4 weeks to think about it.
Because we remember remember Sharon? Yeah. Not a good idea to get drunk in a bar and have someone cut your hair. That one couldn't be fixed. But it wasn't curly hair. It wasn't curly hair. But the answer to that is yes. I have to say yes, only because of the limitations that I was given. So a lot of times I could fix the haircut, but because they don't want to cut it that short, I'm not able to fully fix it. So that happens to me a lot. I would say, people come in and they've had, this was interesting actually. I just had someone come in that had a diva cut, and we get this question all the time from listeners because they say they've gone to a diva certified hairstylist and, they weren't happy with their haircut. So I had a new person come in and she had come in for color, just color. And then turned out she had curly hair. So as I'm, of course, looking at her hair, I'm, focusing on the haircut as well because it just had some issues going on. And so I said, I know you're not here for a haircut today, but I just want to talk to you about, your curls. And I think, I could help make it better. And I started pointing out how there was like a shelf and it was unbalanced, one side's longer than the other and a little choppy. And then after I said all that, she actually told me that she had been getting diva cuts. And I was like, oh, well, but it was kind of cool because I could explain, this is exactly why I started my cutting system because because when I was first diva trained, I would do those haircuts dry only, and then I would see some of my clients that I felt were not perfect. There was still, it was better.
Like something missing?
Yeah, it was better, but there were still some issues that I was seeing, and I don't like that. So it's like, how can I make it better? And so once I learned the wet cutting and started, combining different techniques, that was the answer. So I explained all that to her, and she's like, can you cut my hair today? Well, I only had, I think, an hour or hour and a half of time booked, but I did it, of course, because I wanted to help her and make her feel better. And so,
how'd it turn out?
Fabulous. And and it was kind of crazy because, I was working around other appointments and trying to finish her. And Terry wasn't there yet, and Julie was busy, and I had a new girl, but she's not curly trained yet, so it was just kind of some insanity like usual. But it turned out fabulous. She rebooked. She was really happy.
Yeah,
and everyone could clearly see the difference. I didn't post those pictures yet. I will do that.
Well, what's interesting is to that point, after this show, if you go to YouTube or go into the Curly Girls Support Group Facebook group to see the video of the day of curls, you'll see Melanie's cutting system. You'll see her use all those techniques together where
Yes.
she uses dry cutting and wet cutting, you know, the combination on the same head of hair.
And that
You'll
was
get to actually see
another,
it.
that's another perfect example because like we talked about last week, when Misty came in, it was like, oh, wow, you know, her curls already look great, you know?
Yeah.
And, you know, even Rhett was kind of like, wow, I wonder what she's going to do because her hair looks good. And so it was kind of fun in a way. I was glad to be able to have that model and that example
because you got to show off your system.
Yes,
Yeah.
I could show off and see and show how even though the hair looked good, I could make it look better because there was just a few things that needed to be tweaked from that dry cutting. It was a good haircut. Her Diva stylist did a great job. There was nothing wrong with it, but I could make improvements and make it even better.
Yeah, I can't wait to see the comments that show up under that video because that's going to kill a lot of people's sacred cows when they watch you do that.
Yeah, they hate me.
Oh yeah, because there's so many. You know how many hardcore people there are? Is you can only do dry cutting, or you can only do curl by curl cutting, or you can only do wet cutting, and you know, and a lot of those people are zealots about it, and you know, it really boils down to they just don't quite understand. And in that video, you get to see it. I would highly encourage you, anybody who's listening or watching, go check out that video because you're going to see it. You know, and it's going to be really hard to deny it when you watch it. You know, it's going to it'll be fun. Have you even seen the video?
I was going to say I didn't get to see it, so
I did.
I hope Rhett did a good job. No. Yes,
he did send it. Yes,
I know. Ken told me, but I literally have been on the run, you know, all afternoon, and I barely made it here in time, so I didn't get to see it.
Yeah.
But you know, and that's my belief. Like, why I like to diversify myself as much as possible. I guess I'm kind of a freak that way. Like and that's how I got into teaching because we met someone that's like, why aren't you teaching? You know so much. You have so much knowledge. It's time for you to start teaching other people. And I was like, oh, okay. But I still love to learn. I'm still like, I need to know more. I need to know more. I need to go to this class. I love it. But why would you not diversify yourself as much as possible? I'm not going to put myself in a box where I could only do dry cutting or only do well, that doesn't make sense to me. And my mind may work in different ways than most people, but to me, it makes sense to be able to have as many tools as possible. I mean, even in regular cutting, you don't just do one haircut or one system on everybody. There's different systems, there's different shears, there's different tools. And so I think that's what makes you the best.
I got to laugh. This has got to be a year ago, maybe a year ago, a little bit more. We were at a hair show, and both of us sat in on a curly hair cutting class of a very well-known, very well-educated curl expert. And I saw another woman in the class take a picture of Melanie with her cell phone. And I laughed because I know exactly what she was thinking. She's like, what is she doing in here in a class? Because you were in a claess. You're like, what is she doing in here? And I laughed. And
you will always...
Can I say who that was, or should I not? Or should I just move? It was Carlisto's class.
Yeah. I don't care. I mean, you know...
like, what is she doing?
Yeah, because there's still things to learn from one another. And we've shared that before where, you know, Cristo and myself and people, you know, Sherry and not so much Lorraine because she was kind of out of the picture. But, you know... the top curly experts are always trying to share and learn from one another. And I always go back to my mentors saying it's ingrained in my brain. And, you know, he told me 21 years ago, once you think you know everything, you know nothing. So you're ever learning. And now at this age, I'm ever forgetting. So I need to relearn. You know, sometimes I just need to do it, you know, but I just love to.
And it is funny. I'll tell a little bit of a funny story. And I should have took pictures of it because it really makes this point. Melanie's mentor is Malcolm Brown. He's a U.S. national hairdressing champion and a British national hairdressing champion with what, 50 years behind the chair, Vogue magazine, whole ball of wax.
Don't expose how old he is.
Okay, sorry. I mean, worked side by side with Vidal Sassoon, the Vidal in London, right? Or Paris or wherever the heck. And he actually comes in and comes to our salon, does trainings and whatever. And I watch him watch Melanie to learn what she's doing.
Yeah.
And that's a guy, if anybody, you know, quote unquote, doesn't have anything to learn, it'd be that guy. But he does. You know,
of course.
and he's open to all that, and that's really even at that, you know, at that age, at that point in his career, at 39.
Yeah, I love, you know, there's always something you can pick up on and you know, something new and different, or you know, it's just exciting if nothing else, you know, maybe a better way or a different way of doing this, you know, the same thing, or you know. And then another friend of mine who's very, very well known and had a school, and you know, is a very seasoned stylist. You know, sometimes going to classes you learn what not to do as well, so that's kind of funny, but it's true. You have to be able to know, you know, how to pick and choose. But
you do. You do. Okay, Melanie, can you explain the difference between an ombre and a balayage?
Okay, so an ombre is a form of balayage. So balayage means painting the hair. So it's just, which is another technique of highlighting the hair. So you're just painting on, you know, strands or sections of hair rather than doing the traditional weave and foil. So it's just a highlighting technique that's used. And then the ombre is a form of balayage, which started, oh my gosh, so many years ago, and it's still coming and going. But so ombre was a form of shading and balayaging the hair, where it was going from darker at the root to lighter on the ends.
Okay. Hopefully that answers that. Okay. Melanie, I have a wedding coming up and I'd really like to have my curls put up. Do I need a curl specialist to do that, or can the stylist at the hotel do that?
Well, you don't need a curl specialist to do that. You need an updo specialist. So hopefully somebody at the hotel is good at putting hair up. But curly hair, honestly, is some of the most fun to work with in putting it up, because it's very free. It's very easy. You can, you don't have to manipulate it as much. Like, if you look at a lot of updos, they're actually curling the hair. They sit there for an hour curling with the curling iron, and then back combing and, trying to get it to stay and pin it. And curly hair already has that texture in it, so it's really fun to work with putting it up. So no, absolutely not. You just need someone that's good at doing updos or formal styles. And it's really fun when you get into like the type 4 textured hair, because you don't even need bobby pins. That's cool.
Right. You don't.
You just put it there and it stays. You're like, wow, that's cool. So
Right. Well, speaking of type 4 curls, we'll do a type 4 curl question. This is an interesting one, so bear with me on it. I have 4A, 4B type curls, or should I say had them. I'm 7 months post chop. That's the big chop. For those of you who don't know, the big chop is when your hair is so damaged, you just shave it all off and start over. Pretty much. That's a general way.
Yeah,
to
or they just want to cut it all off.
So I'm 7 months post chop this weekend. I feel like it's taking forever for it to grow back, and I feel like I look like a man. And I'm sorry if that offends you, but that's how I feel, and it's my hair, so there. How long is this going to take? And now it's starting to come in gray. Help.
Oh.
A lot going on there.
Or
nothing going on there.
Yeah.
Not much.
That's another way or reason for people to do a big chop, is to get rid of hair color. And they're transitioning to going more natural and letting their grays come in. But it doesn't sound like that's her plan.
No.
Doing a big chop should not have caused hair to come in more gray. Just to let her know, just cutting your hair short or shaving it off would not be a reason for it to now all of a sudden grow in gray. It just must have been doing that already.
Yeah, just timing.
Yeah, just timing. Just as my mom's doctor would say, it's just bad luck. But anyway, Well, so what was the question?
What was the question?
Or
Well,
that was
she
just a
wants to
comment?
know, after 7 months post-chop, she wants to
how
know
long
why
is it
it's
gonna
taking
take?
so long, and how much longer it's going to take to come back.
Well, unfortunately, that type of hair does take really long to grow because it has such a tight spring factor or shrinkage factor, however you want to call it, that it tends to grow. You know, it grows if you would pull it and stretch that curl, you would see that it's grown, but just wearing it natural, it really shrinks up. So it's hard to see the growth. I mean, we talk about this all the time. Julie, one of my stylists, she has type 3C4A hair, and she's been growing it for at least 5 years, and it definitely
Does it look
has.
any different?
Well, you know what? It has. If we go back to the pictures of when she first started, it definitely has grown, and she does a lot to her hair. She really, highlights it heavily, and she does a lot. But it doesn't look like mine. I mean, if we're growing for 5 years, mine would be down to my ankles. But, hers is still above her shoulders unless she blows it out straight or flat irons it because it's more compact. So, unfortunately, with that type of hair, you don't necessarily see the growth unless you blow it out straight or smooth. But, you will notice. Typically, hair grows half inch a month. So that's what happens. But that hair tends to grow more just like out and it's more compact and tighter to the head rather than longer, like elongated, like you would notice with my hair.
Yeah. Okay.
So.
Okay, great. All right, let's talk about our next giveaway. We hinted about this last week, and it's on the floor here. Do you wanna even pick it up or no? Or do you wanna tease people with what it's all in so they can take it? I know on the podcast you can't see it, but we we have it ready. It's one of my famous curl crap giveaways.
Oh yeah,
it's a curl crap giveaway.
That's right. Evelyn was in the salon this weekend. We were talking about the curl crap giveaways and how some people really love that.
Really
they
love
get excited. They don't care. They like their crap.
And you get a lot. That's kind of the fun.
Now
thing.
we're gonna get the haters again.
Well, that's okay. I don't care. I've been calling it a curl crap
haters.
And I've been calling it a curl crap giveaway for the longest time. I might even trademarked it. I don't remember, but whenever we do
trademark it. We did not trademark that.
We trademark everything else, it seems.
Yeah,
but I don't remember, all the details. But we always throw one or two good things in there as well. So it's a good mix of crap, and that's quote unquote crap. So we have it. But to enter, you're going to have to wait a week because our tech specialist was not able to put together the entry form today. So it's going to have to wait. And next week we'll put links to it in wherever you're consuming this. We'll put it in all the comment section. You guys can enter, and we'll give it away the Halloween show. Ooh, because it'll be scary.
That would be
it'll
scary.
Bag full of scary
that is
crap.
Scary, yeah. So,
but it's a good one.
It's
pretty good.
And I'm commenting on that because, it really bugs me. We were talking about something this week where, people get upset if we're not supportive or I don't want to say support. If we're not promoting, the cheaper products, the cheaper ingredients, and it's like, and it doesn't even make sense. I mean, I'm a professional technician working in a salon. We talk about and promote professional products, whether that's any professional product, even before I had my own brand, Redken, whatever, Davinus or Pureology or, I can go on and on, a Schwarzkopf. But those are you're never going to have a professional that's going to be like, hey, let's go buy some Suave or Tresemme. That's what you should use. That's just silliness. That doesn't make any sense. So, I'm just saying.
Just saying. Okay. Just saying.
I'm
just leaving it at that.
I had a good analogy, but I forgot it.
Okay. Well, I'll show you. This came in the question threads where I grabbed these. For those of you who don't know, when we do these Q&As, we have one of our staff actually compiles all the questions that we ask and then hands them to us. And we do it this way. We don't pre-screen these questions. And we kind of like it that way, because if you've noticed, a lot of times when I ask Melanie questions, she'll pause for several seconds because she's actually got to think of the answer. So it's not like canned, you know. And that question came in, and it's actually a statement about exactly what Melanie just brought up, and I was gonna read it, and I decided, nah, I'm not going down there. So anyway,
well,
okay, you want to show that thing?
I don't really get it. Well,
her I know what she means by this comment. Her comment is that stuff happens because I don't do that.
Because you don't tell.
Because nobody knows. Because nobody knows the reasons that we're
yeah, but that doesn't even make sense. So the story about, you know, and believe me, we have talked about it. I know what it's like to be broke. I know what it's like to be poor. Yeah. I mean, I know what it's like to, you know, not even have money for food, and you know.
I do. Yeah. I know what that's like.
Yeah, I mean, you drink, what do you always say, wiener water soup? Or,
I was worse than that. I tell the story that I tell all the time. When I was in college and I was out of money, I would walk to the farmer's market, and for a quarter, I would buy a head of cabbage, usually the crappiest one that they had, because I could get that for a quarter, and usually 4 to 6 ears of corn, like crappy ones they were getting ready to throw out, and I could get that for a quarter, and I would cut the cabbage into quarters, and I would take my hot pot in my dorm room. I'd take my hot pot, and I would take a quarter of the cabbage, boil it in the in water, eat the cabbage for a meal, drink the water from the cabbage for another meal, like usually lunch, and then for dinner I'd boil one of the, like, either half or a whole one of the ears of corn, and then drink the water.
Yeah.
I know poor.
Yeah.
I know poor.
And neither one of us grew up with anything and anything being handed to us. We've worked our asses off, you know.
I apologize to no one.
Yeah, no. I mean, we work night and day, you know, just to, you know, survive and thrive. And, you know, a lot of people just don't want to put in the work that needs to be done. But
for anything.
I lived on popcorn. And the more things change, the more they say
I was just going to say, you
guess
live
what
on
I just had
now.
on the way here for dinner? Popcorn. That was my fun fact. Yeah, because Ken hasn't gone shopping or fed me for
I have been
weeks.
busy. I haven't had a job. We have like no
popcorn
food.
For dinner.
We have no food. We have salad dressing and almond milk.
Oh, that's awesome.
That's
it.
So
anyway, but yeah, I mean, you know, that just bugs me, because but telling this story, even about being broke, it doesn't. It matters, you know, it has an impact. However, the point that I'm making still is that any professional is still going to promote professional products.
We just we have to, you know, we just have to.
It's that only makes sense.
Otherwise,
so anyway, okay.
Right.
So
okay.
I have it in my hand.
All right. Do you want to just show the bag, or do you want to?
I don't know.
Do you want to look inside of it and go ooh ah and just not let anybody see it?
Oh, well.
So the bag is included in this giveaway. So take a look at this.
Oh, dun. We have another Curls and Hearts bag.
And it's not a cheapie. It's actually a really pretty nice quality bag.
I have the exact same one. I love it. It's
I think it says
cute.
Supreme on the back. Well, maybe
Supreme.
not. It's an $800 bag.
Hearts and Curls tote. It's so cute.
It doesn't.
So,
but it's a curly hair bag. Can't see it on the podcast. You can't see it, but anyway. But yeah, next week we'll start taking the entries and we'll give it away on the.
Is there a puppy in here?
There's not a puppy in there.
Ooh, a curly hair puppy.
There's no puppy in there. That's pretty good. There's a lot of stuff in there.
That's a lot of stuff.
I know.
How much does that cost?
A couple $100.
Yeah. Wow. Okay. And that's not all curl crap.
That's what I said. There's a couple things in there that are not crap. It's pretty good. Okay. So you'll all get a
there's your teaser.
Yes, there's your teaser. You all get a chance. So, all right. Well, let's wrap it up. Rhett is going to put in the comment section on the Facebook group. Can you do it on the Instagram or not, Rhett? Can you do it? The links for the video, for the Day of Curls video? Can't hear you, bro. Is that a yes or a no?
Earth to Rhett.
After you're done. Yeah. He's going to post it up there shortly. It'll be up there within... yeah. Okay.
There's that
okay,
voice
great.
In our
Yeah,
again.
it's in the Facebook group now, Curly Girl Sport Group. It's on our Raw Curls YouTube channel right now, so you'll be able to go there and click on it. You'll see it. And I think that's it. So anyway, all right,
Yes.
let's wrap it
Are
up.
we having a guest next week?
We may be. I have not confirmed that
I want
guest.
to have a guest.
I have
You told me we're
not
having
confirmed.
guests.
I have not confirmed that guest yet. I have not. But as soon as I know, I will do that. So anyway, so that's that. Let's
a
wrap
great
it up.
curl week.
Yeah, have a great curl week. We also have, remember, we've got the curly hair question of the day on Instagram TV on our at Raw Curls Instagram. And it's just like this show, but we only answer one question. It's usually quick, kind of bite size, we call it. And that's up there 7 days a week. So check that
It's
out.
mini curls.
It's mini curls Q&A, and you can check that out as well. So, all right, have a great week. We'll see you guys later.